A good topic this week. Paul Skeens, obviously, he's been electric this week, but the conversation is: does he have a chance to win the Cy Young Award for the National League?
I love what Polskis have been doing this year, but I do not think he can get the Cy Young this season. He will need to have a good winning streak down the stretch to get to double digit wins. And if the Pirates fade in the race for that last wild card spot, they will definitely shut down Skeens. So I love Skeens and he's lights out, but I do not think he gets the Cy Young this year.
Oh, breaking news.
What
We have
happened?
breaking news.
Here we go again with the plus minuses
When you beat me to it, I was like, oh shoot, we
you
started
have to you
thinking.
have to be quick. You have to be quick. In game, real time, it's hard to like make that bang bang call 100%. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Sliders. Today is Saturday, August 3rd. I'm Almar and I have Armando next to me and let's talk baseball.
Hi, Omar. Well, thank you for wearing Giants colors. Thank you for your support.
Always happy to support.
Oh, there you go. Well, let's go around the bases with the latest news in Major League Baseball. Omar, let's start with the news of Mike Trout being shut down for the season. It was reports that the Angels were going to showcase him right before the trade deadline. That didn't happen. It came by, and this week it was announced that he was being shut down with another tear. Um, what's your opinion on this?
Well, another season-ending injury to one of the best hitter in baseball. Hopefully, Mike Trout can get rested and be ready next season. But this is another devastating news for him and the Halos. Armando, Mike Trout is the modern day Ken Griffey Jr., a 5-tool player, but careers get held back with injuries. We mentioned Ken Griffey with the Mays, Bonds,
Right.
hammering Hank, and if he was not oft injured, he could have surpassed all of them in the home runs list. And if we look back at what Mike Trout could have been, it mirrors what the kid was. I sure hope we have not seen the best of Mike Trout yet, Armando.
Well, I think that's the question that comes up to mind. Like, have we seen the best out of him? Right. Um, it's hard to say, right? Like, we don't know if this is just the Angels being extra cautious or Mike Trout's camp being extra cautious, right? Like, we just don't know. But he played 29 games this year. Last year, under 80 games. The year before, he had 100 and something games, but the year before, 2021, he only played under 50 games. So, like, that's 3 seasons out of the last four that he has played under 80 games, right? So that's really sad to see that we just can't see him play at this point. It's like it's a fair question to say, like, have we seen the best out of him? Would he be the same ever again, right? So it's really sad to see that because he's definitely early in his career he was the face of the league without being in the playoffs, right? Like, it's kind of like that was the joke. Is like the face of the league, and we can't even see him in the playoffs. But hopefully hopefully it's just a tear that he can come back. But hopefully we haven't seen um, the best days. Hopefully it's just the best days for Mike Trout is ahead of him.
Yeah, it's already sad that he's playing with the Halos, right?
Yeah, exactly. But where do the Angels go from here, right?
Well, like you said, we have been talking about this before the trade deadline. Teams will be will be bargaining with Halo, so the price for Mike Trout could be lower. So Halos won't even move him in the off season because
Yeah,
how can you move him? Like you said, he
exactly.
hasn't played he hasn't played more than 100 games yet. It's even for a Mike Trout, maybe you can just sell him for the name pedigree, maybe, but
Maybe.
if teams are wise, I'm not paying that much for Mike Trout.
Do you think it would be wise for the Angels to for them to release him? They're just paying him a lot of money for not playing, right?
Yeah, they're just gonna eat a lot of money, right? But
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure if the Halos can do that. Maybe they can trade him if some team can bite. They can probably trade him to the team that misses on Juan Soto. That could be the play. That
I
could be
think
the play.
I think some team is willing to take that bite. I think
Yep.
right, like it's for the name, the potential, the tickets, even if it doesn't play out right. So even like even if he has injuries for the rest, for the next couple of years, they're gonna sell. The whoever gets some fans will buy his jersey with his new team, and they will make a lot of money. So, but yes, I'm with you. So, all right, Omar, we the trade deadline has come and passed. Uh, what was your favorite trade this year?
Surprisingly, there were a ton of trades this deadline, and if you ask me, I love the Astros trade of Kikuchi. Solid middle of the starting pitching, lefty can eat up innings, and Kikuchi has been great this season. And I'm not just saying that because of the Jays, but sure, but sure, the Astros gave up a lot to the Jays. But if you are trying to make the push in the playoffs, you have to have good pitching down the stretch. So I like this move from the Astros getting Kikuchi. How about you, Armando? What's your favorite trade?
For me, it's actually I'm gonna go with the Diamondbacks. Um, with AJ Puck and then Dylan Flore. They get a starter and they get a reliever. And
Yeah,
actually I think we're in agreement here. Like this is two teams, the Astros and the Diamondbacks from last year. They're starting to get hot at the right time. So these two organizations know, like in the playoffs, if you want to have a deep run, you need pitchers. You need a strong
correct.
bullpen and you need a starting rotation. So and you need to be deep in your starting rotation just in case anybody has a setback for the last 2 months remaining. So um, Houston is in a tight race in the American League West, and Diamondbacks have a same thing in the West, National League West. There's a very competitive. So thus I like those moves. They just added strength to the pitching rotation and the bullpen.
Yep. I'll agree with that one. I'll agree with the Diamondbacks move on that one.
Yeah. So obviously there was a lot of good moves, but that's what I like, and obviously Diamondbacks are, like I said, they're heating up at the right time, right? So all right, with another news, and a little bit more controversial this week, Elo Jimenez, uh, formerly he played for the Chicago White Sox. Before the trailer, he made some comments of um, he made comments like, "I have to be careful um, while running." He had last week he had 4 grounders in one game, and he was just not hustling to first. He was just kind of jogging, and it was really sad to see in a professional game or professional players just not caring about the team, about the sport. In a sense, you don't see this in baseball often. You see this in basketball and football where the stars athletes that they were forcing their way out of their team to go to a different team, right? So this is very shocking because in baseball you don't see that often, right? So you might get a team might get a player might get demoted to AAA, right? So, but it is so he got his wish. He got traded to the Baltimore Orioles. Obviously, Baltimore Orioles in a contendant. So, but what do you think about those comments?
Where is Jonathan Papelbon when you need them, right?
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Well, I I know Chicago White Sox. We've made fun of them. They're not winning. I think they're losers of 18 straight or something.
Yes, 18
I
straight.
can, yeah, don't quote me on that one, but it's something like that. It's it's hard enough to win, but if your player, you see a player in a professional league playing like that, doesn't care. It drags everyone down. It drags every teammate down. Even when we're playing like even on just like a catch up basketball, right? If you see like a player not doing anything, you're just like, oh, hell, I'm not playing. I'm not playing anymore because my teammate is not hustling,
Yeah,
right? So it drags everyone down, and
yeah.
it's sad to see that a professional player plays like that, right? Like you said.
It's so I've yes, obviously the Chicago White Sox have lost 18 consecutive games early in this week. I'm not sure if they won today. Um, they have 27 wins of the season, and this is what's crazy: 27 blown saves in the season. So like their luck, if they had a good bounce here and there, like their number could have been a lot better than what it shows. And they're on pace for the second worst record in baseball history, right? So behind the Phillies, 1927, something like that. So don't quote me on that, but a long time. So, but it's very yeah. I think it's. I heard a quote once like you never know in baseball. Like you might think you're playing for one organization, but you're some scouts, some other team are always looking. So you want to be professional in the field and outside, right? So because you never know, you might get traded, you might have a new boss, new team, new skipper. So definitely not a good side of him. But it's also hard when you go into the game to the ballpark and you're gonna lose, and that is also tough. But um, that's discouraging enough. But it's also it is your job, and fans are going to the games to see you play, right? So that's my take on that. And in other news, um, this is a good topic this week. Paul Skeens, obviously, he's been electric this week, but the conversation is: does he have a chance to win the Cy Young Award for the National League? Obviously, right now, I think he's a front runner for Rookie of the Year in the National League. But does he have a chance to be both the Cy Young and the Rookie of the Year?
I love what Polskis have been doing this year, but I do not think he can get the Cy Young this season. He will need to have a good winning streak down the stretch to get to double digit wins. And if the Pirates fade in the race for that last wild card spot, they will definitely shut down Skeens. So I love Skeens and he's lights out, but I do not think he gets the Cy Young this year.
It's a very I agree with you. I don't think he will get enough votes. I think he will get some votes, but I don't think he will win because let's say Chris Sale, he's having a great season right now. He has a 10-3 record. He's lights out. He's a horse for the Atlanta Braves, and good for him, right? And literally any of the three pitchers from the Phillies has a case for winning the Cy Young Award. Um, I'm I'm with you. I don't think he has enough, and obviously being called up in June or whenever when he was called up, um, I think it does hurt him his chance of winning because there's been pitchers like Sale who has been who's been pitching the whole season, who are having great season, and I don't think he should hurt them chances over a phenom at this point, right? So I think he will probably be in the running for the for years to come. But think for this year, I think I would give it to someone else.
Yeah, it'll be unprecedented if Skins win with not double digit wins. I think the very least he needs at least 12 wins. How much? How
Right.
many wins? How many wins did Lincecum get when he won the Cy Young? 12.
He 1 year he went 14-14.
Okay.
So and the other one around the same time, like on the run. But he led the league in innings pitch and in strikeout. So those are the things. But right now, Paul Skeens, um, he doesn't have the numbers of the wins, and he doesn't have like the innings pitch. But he's actually very his strikeout ratio is really great, right? So
His peripherals are there with 1.90 ERA and 103 strikeouts, but
right,
like we mentioned, he needs to get the digit wins to get a chance. I know wins are a team based stats, but he needs at least, I in my opinion, at least 12
right.
wins.
No, you do have a good case. I'm just trying to find his numbers. Um, no, you make a really good case for it, right? So, but I think if the Pirates get into the playoffs, his argument is going to be a lot
Correct.
more,
Yeah.
right? So, anyways, but yes, it's exciting it's exciting to see him pitch. But I think I will, like I said, I think I will give it to somebody else, like Chris Sale. So that's just my opinion so far. So that is it around the bases. And if you like this content, please subscribe, like, and follow. It will help our channel growth. All right, Omar, let's bring back our curtain calls of the week. It's been a while. It's been a trade deadlines all start, so we have taken a break to cover other segments, but we're back with the all star curtain calls of the week. Um, for my curtain call team of the week, I am going with the Oakland A's. This is my second time having the Oakland A's. Um, what? Why you might ask, like, why the A's, right? Like, it's their last in the division, but you know what? They keep fighting, right? Like, they keep fighting, but you know what? They have won four straight series. Um, they beat the Dodgers yesterday, like literally a triple A team, which is the highest payroll. They beat. Let me see just who they beat. They split the series against the Giants. They took 3 out of 4 against the Angels. They took 2 out of 3 against the Astros, playoff Astros, division leading Astros. They beat the Astros 2 out of 3. They beat the Phillies 2 out of 3. And guess what? The A's are just scoring runs right now. And those against the Phillies, they beat the Phillies 6-2, 11-5, 16-3. Against the Angels, 13-3. They are hitting home runs. They are they're scoring runs. They're pitching great. Uh, and one of the main reasons that they are having a lot of success is Lawrence Butler. Um, since June 30th, so this is the month of July, 18 games. He's batting up 419, 8 home runs, and 24 RBIs. Not bad for a second year player. So
Aren't,
I'm going with the A's.
aren't you glad they did trade Mason Miller and Brent Rooker, hey?
Yes. And obviously, Rook is having a great season as well. So
Your love for the Bay Area will not die, hey Armando. And it's not.
I gotta give credit where it's due, right? Like not a lot of their A's and other teams are not getting a lot of national media, right? Obviously, I could have gone with the Mets, the Diamondbacks, the Astros, who are number one offense at the moment, right? But I gotta be like, hey, they're riding at 8-2 well, they were like they had an 8-2 in the last 10 games. Like I gotta give credit where it's due.
Yeah, it's nice for you to always give them a shout out
Yeah.
here on our podcast. And for and for my curtain call team of this week, I am going with the Cleveland Guardians. This Guardians is doing it with everyone contributing. They're starting pitching to the back of the pen. This team will be tough to beat down the stretch and in the playoffs. They are winners of four of their last five games, and are 7-3 in their last 10 games. Currently, still have a good hold on the AL Central ahead of the Twins with 5.5 games, and that is why the Guardians are my curtain call team of this week.
Yeah, and obviously Jose Ramirez, second in home runs in the American League. He's just having a great season. What can you say about that team? They are well coached. There's a lot of good character, mentally tough, and I'm excited to see how deep they go into the playoffs because they've been playing this season. They've been playing baseball the right way, and it
Yep.
shows on the field, right? So perfect. For my pitcher of the week, I am going no other. I'm not being a homer here. I'm not being a homer. I'm
Really,
giving
really,
credit.
really.
I'm going with Blake Snells. Come on, he just had a no hitter yesterday. I'm still on the high. I called the whole family. I was like when I was the eighth inning. I was like, everybody come here, all the kids, like and Brianna was like, we have a no right now, so like let's go, and we're all watching. We all watch it together, and we're all cheering. So it was great. But he just had a no hitter, 11 strikeouts, three walks. Um, yeah, 114 pitches. His first time he has pitched the eighth and ninth. That's hard to believe with his 7 years or 9 years career that he has never passed the seventh inning. Um, but in his last, let's just say in his last two starts, he pitched 7 innings, but he had 15 strikeouts um, in 6 innings. It's a major league record. No one has had more strikeouts through 6 innings, and then he follow up with a no hitter. But ever since he's coming from the IL list and his 5 starts, 33 innings pitched, two uh, earns runs, 8 hits allowed in 5 games with 41 strikeouts. Um, he's lights out, and that is my pitcher of the week.
It will be tough for me to top that one, Armando. Blake Snell is what you call in Spanish and fuego. If throwing a no hitter this week does not get him chosen as a player or pitcher of this week by MLB, I do not know what will, right, Armando?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
let's see if I can convince you with my own pitcher curtain call of this week. Chris
Oh,
Sale.
oh
Currently
yeah.
tied for currently tied for first in the majors with 13 wins, an ERA of 2.71 with 155 strikeouts. And on Wednesday, Sale pitched 5 and 2/3 of an inning, allowing 6 hits, only 2 earned runs with 6 strikeouts against the Brewers. I know it's not as pretty as a Blake Snell no, but that stat line against the NL Central leading Brewers get my curtain call pitcher of this week.
Oh, that's not a bad pick. That is not a dig. Yes, Chris. Blake Snell's pitched the 18 no hitter in Giants history. We're only 2 teams are ahead of us for the most ever in a franchise. But Chris Sale, no one expected this kind of season, right? They thought when the Braves signed him this offseason, they thought they were getting a third pitcher on rotation, but not knowing that they were actually getting an ace, right? So what a
Correct.
steal, what a pickup. Uh, like I said, I think early in the curtain calls, Chris Sale is my Cy Young award at this moment, right? So if the season would have ended, I would have. My vote would be go for Chris Sale. So that is a great pick. Um, Hats to you, Omar. So for my position player of the week, I am going with Bobby Witt Jr. Um, he's just, I think we talked about it earlier in the season. He's a second year player. who's having a breakout or 30-year player who's having a breakout season. In the season, he is batting 345, 20 home runs, 79 RBI. But let me read you the numbers for the month of July. For the month of July, he is batting 489, 44 hits, 7 home runs, 22 RBIs. He's literally just clutch at this point. It's a hit every time he goes to a bat. Um, th- yeah, so it's exciting to see a shortstop, a new, pretty much a new face of the league. He's excited to watch. He's pretty much a highlight reel at this point. So that is my position player of the week.
This will not get the headlines like the Baba Wick Jr.
Yeah,
like your position player of this week. It's because his team is not performing well this season,
that is correct.
but not recognizing this player and what he has been doing in the past month and a half is a disservice to baseball. So for my curtain call position player of this week, I am picking Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and this is not a homer pick like a Blake Snell. But we knew that the first half will come back and bite them from their behind.
Yes.
But Vlad Jr. is showing everyone that he is capable of still being one of the top power hitters in the game. Currently riding a 16 game hitting streak. Vlad Jr. this week is 14 for 23 with 3 home runs and 8 runs batted in. That kind of hitting performance will always get my vote as my curtain call position player of any week.
And not a bad pick. Like Vlad, you know what? Well, what I noticed the biggest thing right now from the May and April and May, he's having fun. He has
Yep.
a smile, right? Even losing or whatever, like he's having fun out there. I don't know what was going on the April or May, but like yeah, you can tell like just watching it. He was down, but now he's having fun. Um, he looks like a kid out there, just having playing the game right. But it is so funny to hear Giants media this week, even before the trade deadline and after the deadline. We're just giving scenarios of what to do to land Vlad Jr. We need a first baseman, we need a DH, and for some reason, that name has not stopped since the Giants and Jays played early in the year, a couple like last month. So for some reason, that name has not stopped talking within Giants media. Uh, I think it will cost a lot to trade for him in the offseason, but Giants are being hopeful. Giants fans are being hopeful right now to land him. So
well,
great call on uh,
we'll never know, right? We'll never know in the off season. Anything can happen, but right now
right.
like you said, it'll be hard for any team, not just the Giants, to trade for the caliber of Guerrero Jr. who can hit 30 home runs and 100 RBIs in any season, right? So
Right. So yeah. Well, that is it for our curtain calls of the week. Let's get into our Giants and Blue Jays updates. For my Giants updates, obviously I was last week I was down and I said I was ready to sell sell everybody. Uh, well, they didn't. They did. We traded somebody. We traded somebody. Alex Cobb, who was in the injury list. Everybody was kind of hoping like 6-man rotation. What do you do, right? He, we've been waiting for him all season long, and I'm joking, but I actually do wish him the best, and with his new team. Um, yeah, he never made, and that's probably because of the young pitchers. They didn't want the Giants didn't want to send those young pitchers to back to AAA because they feel like they need to stay and they earned that right to stay. And Alex Cobb, he did he his tenure with the Giants is short, only a couple of years, but he actually did a really good job with the Giants. He last year he was an All Star. He was an ace on the rotation, co-ace with Logan Webb, and I wish all the best for him and his family. And but he's not going to make a start right away with his new team. He's actually going to have a couple more rehab stats, but it was just sad. He's had so many setbacks from his leg, arm, back, and now his hand, pitching hand. So, yeah. So I think that's one of the trades, and the other one it was Jorge Soler. They shipped him out, and you could say that this was just a salary cap. It just did not work out. Soler has been a World Series champ with the Cubs and with who was which other team that he won the World Series with? Oh, with Atlanta when they won the World Series. So he got traded to Atlanta, and they just pretty much Atlanta was willing to take all their salary. So this just the Giants just literally just it was a salary dump with Soler, and I think with the it was just a failure. The Jorge Soler experiment was a failure. Let's just say that. Um, I was up and downs with them, and he just never. I think it's also when you're not the man like when he won with the Cubs in Atlanta, he wasn't the main guy. He was a cleanup hitter. There was other stars. He wasn't the main star, right? So I think when you're getting paid 44 million or $40 million over 3 years, there it's you you got paid to be the man to hit 30, 40 home runs, and he just could not live up to the potential. I mean that that stress, or right, or the expectations, I might say. So this was just the he was taking a lot of hits. He a lot of walks lately, which is good. He was getting on base, and he was hitting singles, but he was not hitting home runs. He was not getting doubles. So I think Atlanta wanted him to come back. Atlanta wanted him, so like the Giants were willing to trade him. So, but this was just a failure. So, and yeah, so I'm actually kind of glad because as a Giants fan, like it was hard to watch Jorge Soler. Like a lot of Giants fans, kind of like, oh man, here comes a double play right now. Like it's kind of like, but you cannot see this for 3 more years. So like we cannot. So like I think it was good that they did that. And but now so I don't know if the Giants were ever going to trade Blake Snell. There were teams to call there. I think there was 8 teams that called to find out. According to Fahrenheit, the the offers were not good enough. But I don't think they were going to trade him because his contract, because he signed I think it was $15 million signing bonus, which that is not part of the other trades. They could have traded him, but they were going to have to eat 15 million on a signing bonus. You can't trade that away. Plus his salary of over half of the 30 million he's getting paid right now. So like that's a lot of money. So I don't think they were they were going to trade him. It was going to be too much. But according to the reports that they didn't, uh, the offers were not good enough. But this week you had Logan Webb have a complete game. Um, Logan Webb on Wednesday he had 5 hits, complete game, and then follow up with Lex Snell's no hitter, which it was great. But I think also that's what the Giants imagined when they signed Blake Snell's before back in the spring, saying like they could have a 1-2 punch. And now their Giants organization, they're excited. Like they still believe that the Giants can make the playoffs. And Farhad said, "We expect to make the playoffs this year, even their 7 teams." Farhad might be the only one that believes that we have a chance to win to make the playoffs. Still, he actually made some good comments. It made a lot of people mad his comments after the trade deadline because it's kind of like he just kind of like what are you talking about? Like he said, like we Giants have the best pitching rotation in the majors, and I'm like, we're good, but I don't want to say it's the best. Seattle has the best pitching rotation. Let's just not. Phillies ahead. You know, it's like there's so many other teams, but they believe the organization believes that the Giants have a chance, and they we only need a 10, 12 game winning streak, or to take 12 out of 15 games, or 10 out of 13 games. If the Giants can do that, they can they'll be right in the mix. But you cannot once, but still after the trade deadline, Giants come, they lose, they lose to the A's, last place A's, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, it's kind of like you cannot lose to teams. Today they lost to the Reds today. They still have like a 6-4 record or 7-3 record in the last week, 10 days, but still, you cannot lose to teams that they have no business, right? So to me, like I said, this is not a playoff team, but if this is the pitching rotation where with Ray and Blake Snell's, um, Webb, and the youngsters, they might have a chance, but that offense needs to pick it up. They just plain and simple. Right now, it is the youngsters, Fitzgerald, national uh, rookie of the month, Fitzgerald, Casey Smith, and Romo, and all this such um, players from the AAA they're pretty much carrying the team right now. We need the veterans to pick it up, and either Chapman has been playing great, but they're not syncing. They're not hitting together. Like they're not. Not everybody is only one player who's hot and carrying the team. Like we need multiple players to get hot at the same time. But like so at this point we have the pitching, but we just don't have the offense. So I
Yeah.
think that is my Giants update of the week. So there's right now the Diamondbacks who have the third wild card spot. They're on pace of winning 86 games. So it's fair to say whoever wins 86 plus games with will get the third wild card spot. So that means the Giants need to go 30 and 30 and 20 in the or 15, 30 and 15 in the next 2 months. So it's doable, but the offense is to wake up, and you have no reason to be losing to teams like the A's or other teams. Even if the A's are hot, they had a great month of July. But like Cincinnati's behind you on the wild card spot. Like those are the teams that you need to beat. Just plain and simple. And yes, Detroit. You're going to be facing Detroit, Washington, all these last place teams. You have to beat up. You cannot lose games to those teams, and you have to win the series. 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4. You cannot lose series if you want to make the playoffs. So I think that's just the aftermath of the trade deadline. There was a lot of stress because there was a lot of rumors. So especially with the pitchers um, and players, right? So it's never easy. There's always a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress for players, and obviously it showed for the Giants because they were not playing good, and there was a lot of names surrounding them in the trade deadline. So, anyways, that's my Giants update.
Yeah, next season we'll just have a New York Yankees and LA Dodgers update. Say,
Yeah,
give the curse to them, right? Give the curse to them. It's a lot of pain for the Jays and
give the
Giants this
fans
year.
what they want. Give the fans what they want.
Uh,
Oh, that's fun.
There's a lot of sadness, but for your Blue Jays update, we were the Saturday sellers last week. So the Jays waved the white flag this season, trading Kiermaier to the Dodgers, Kikuchi, like I mentioned, to the Astros, Justin Turner to the Mariners. The Jays got a lot of prospects and major league talent, which is exciting, especially Joey Loferpito, who is already showing his prowess with the bat. He got a triple in Yankee Stadium yesterday, and on the field as well, as he had an outfield assist also yesterday as they gunned down the runner trying to score from first. It's not what we envisioned this Jays would be this season, but such thing is baseball, right? Armando, it's cruel to us fans
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, that's my Jays update. Let's move on to the next season, right?
Oh, you're ready, right? Was there any? I'm actually kind of surprised of that they were not surprised that they sold, but the way they sold, they completely throw the white flag in. They literally shipped everybody out, pretty much everybody, other than Bo and Vlad, right? So and Calvin Gossman, but like they were like kind of like, yeah, we're starting we're starting the rebuild, right? So I'm kind of shocked by that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I was texting you all week yesterday
yeah,
that my sources were great, right? Because because they said they won't trade the Bows, the Vlad, Gossman,
yeah,
Bassets, but they would trade everyone without terms. So they
right,
did. So they did. So like you said, we said they waved the white flag, right?
exactly. So, but was there any calls for Vlad? Do you know? I know the
No.
Giants keep dreaming about it, but like, was did any teams, any reports saying like it's like, yo, so and so, three teams call for Vlad, and there was no offers or anything that you know of?
I think coming in like 2 3 days before the deadline, I think those trade talks got shut down because Vlad mentioned he wanted to stay, and the
Okay,
Jays said we're not trading Vlad Jr. So I believe all calls were shut down. So there were no
right.
rumors coming into the trade deadline. But you can keep dreaming, Giants fans.
Also, he got super hot right before the trade
True,
deadline, right? So
true.
I don't think he. Who knows if he was like, yeah, he had a month of July, right? So to
Yeah,
remember,
after
but
that,
he,
yeah, after that All Star, he got super hot, and all trades was like, you have to
yeah,
give
he's too
like a
expensive. Yeah,
massive return, right? Just to get that meter moving for the Jays, right?
right. So I do have to say, like, just because of the Jorge Soler, it did open up. That trade did open up. Traded him away, open up for like Luciano, which I've been talking about him since spring because of the he was drafted to be the replacement for Crawford. He doesn't have the glove that you expect, but he has a good bat, and he's been hot in AAA all season. It actually opens up for other players to come up, like Luciano. He doesn't have the glove like um, your typical shortstop. He lacks confidence. Um, he's been the Giants been trying out at first, second, still playing third in the outfield, but he's been hot in AAA, and I think in he where you're paying so much somebody to be the H like Soler, you can't pay him that much and just sit him down and call somebody else who's hot, right? So I think trading him away it actually opens up for other players to be the full-time DH or play around with the lineup, right? Um, so you can put in Lisiano or Matos if he gets called back, or other players to say like, hey, you're hot, or Marco Confarto, yeah, you're hot, So we're gonna play defense, but we're still gonna keep you at bat. So they just didn't have the options with Soler on the team. Just because, yeah, you're paying $40 million to be the edge, and it just wasn't working out. So, it, yes, it was a dumpster financial dumpster dump, but actually, it's actually a pretty good mood for the team.
Yeah, you can wipe your self clean with Solar. During the off season, there was talks with Jace trying to land Solar, but there was also news that he hits for power, like you said, he hits for power, but there's some strikeouts there, and him playing literally just DHing for most of the time will hurt the team that he lands in. So
Yeah,
good to see that your Giants were able to move him. I'm not saying Soler is a bad player. That I'm not saying that, but he wasn't performing to what he's paid for, right?
yeah, and I think it's also, you have to say, like, no, he's played for two World Series champions. He's a champion. He's been a World Series MVP. So I think it's just like once in a while you just have a bad season, and I just that it just came out this year that he was having a bad season. So yeah, hopefully he gets hot for Atlanta, because obviously Atlanta, they're in position to make the playoffs, right? So yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad player, right? But it actually kind of reminded me of um, Miguel Tejada, or Beltran. We talk about from the Rangers. Like when Beltran signed with the Mariners, they were signing him to be the power bat, right? And it didn't work out. He wasn't putting the numbers like he was with the Dodgers, right? And it was also Miguel Tejada was having he was they had a he was hitting a lot of home runs with the A's, but
Oakland, yeah.
when you go to Baltimore, when he signed that massive contract, well, he was getting walks and he was hitting singles, but it's kind of like, hey, we're not paying you to hit singles or to get on base. We're paying you to be the power hitter that you were, and now you're being almost like conservative and having good at bats. It's kind of like, well, which is important, but it's kind of like, no, we're paying you to hit 40 home runs, hit doubles, right? Uh,
But
uh,
he came from the Moneyball Oakland A's,
yeah,
right? So,
exactly, exactly.
we keep
So
mentioning he gets on base. That's what we love, right?
yeah, exactly. So I think Jorge Soler reminded me of that. It's kind of like, no,
Mhm.
like you came in to be the first hitter since Berrimon to hit 30 plus home runs, and he's not even on pace for 30 home runs, right? So he was just getting a lot of singles and getting taking his walks, but it's kind of like, oh, like, yeah, we need to run batters in that. So but he had his last 2 weeks. He kind of seemed like he was getting his swings back, but not what the Giants were paying him to do. So that's my last thing about the Giants update. So well, that is it for this week's Saturday Sliders. See you next week.
See you next week.